Jake's mine must be somewhere on this map, but where?
Hello?
Hi, Beth.
Hey, what's going on?
I discovered this cabinet full of old dolls in the caboose.
Old dolls make my skin crawl. Whose were they?
Well, I'm assuming they belong to Jake's wife, Camille.
They could have been Jake's, you know. I mean, they never had a child of their own, right? So maybe after Camille died, he went a little bonkers. Oh, Bess. Hey, I'm just trying to think outside the box here, okay? Something it wouldn't hurt you to do from time to time, little Miss No Imagination.
You know, maybe I'll just put this paintbrush down, walk out that door, and let you do this all by yourself.
No! You've got to keep painting. If I don't get this done by tomorrow, I'll be grounded for a month. I was just kidding about your imagination. It's wonderful. You're wonderful. Very, very wonderful.
That's more like it.
I get the definite feeling Laurie Gerard has a thing for Tino Balducci.
I saw him on TV once. He is very cute.
Laurie thinks he's the world's greatest detective.
And you don't?
Let's just say I'm glad he doesn't work for our police department.
I think the only reason he's famous is because he looks good on camera.
Well, I think you two are being way too hard on him. Just because he's good looking doesn't mean he can't also be smart. In fact, maybe Balducci tries to look incompetent on purpose. You know, to give the bad guys a false sense of security so it's easier to catch them. Ever think of that?
No, Bess, I never did.
Well, there you go.
If I told you that I needed a hint, what would you say?
I'd say it's about time.
I'd say fire away.
There's a panel in the sleeping car that I'd like to open, but it's got a 4-digit tumbler lock on it. How can I get it open?
Maybe those 4 digits on the lock have something to do with the 4 words that Jake said Camille had taken with her to her grave.
But even after you figure out what they are, you're still going to have to translate them into numbers somehow.
That sampler hanging in Camille's car translates images into numbers.
So maybe what you need to find is something that translates words into images.
Know what I'd do if I were you? I'd go to Camille's car and sample some reading material.
Okay, thanks a bunch.
You're welcome a bunch.
Goodbye. That tool I saw in the caboose. I bet that's what you use to unscrew these bolts. More pipes to connect. Here we go. What is that? Yep, she's holed up in the caboose, and as a reward for finding her, she let me have this. It's a letter from Jake to his niece in which he leaves clues telling her how to find his mine. Only the clues are extremely obtuse.
You found Lori, you got the letter with all the clues. Guess you don't need us anymore.
Oh, Joe, quit pouting. Want any help?
Are you kidding? You bet I do.
Now you're talking.
I found a diagram for some kind of contraption that Jake designed, but to operate it you need his pickaxe and some kind of lamp or lantern, which it looks like he gave to somebody named Buell.
Buell? Joe, show her!
Show her what?
That old picture we found!
Okay.
We found this on the bookshelf. See? Buell's Supplies and Pawn Shop. That's gotta be the same Buell Jake gave his axe and lantern to.
Yeah, 100 years ago. And the guy was a pawnbroker, Frank. The stuff's probably long gone.
Or maybe it's still somewhere in Copper Gorge.
Well, that's where we're headed, so let's just hope for the best.
Right.
It stands to reason that the only person other than Jake who had to have known the location of Jake's mine was the engineer on Jake's train.
Very true.
Not necessarily. Jake might not have told him the exact location. Maybe he just had him drop him off somewhere nearby.
Well, still, we'd be way ahead of the game if we knew where that drop-off point was.
If the engineer had any surviving relatives, we may be in luck.
The guy died more than 100 years ago. How are we supposed to find out his name?
Maybe Charlena What's-Her-Face could tell us how to go about it.
Good idea, Frank. I'll ask her. See you in a bit.
Sounds good.
Yes?
I hope I'm not disturbing you.
You are, but I'm quite used to disturbances. You see, I'm writing my next book. I'm on a deadline, so until I write those two most wonderful of all three-letter words, the end, everywhere I go, my laptop goes, and every chance I get, I write.
I found Lori. She's in the caboose. You were right. She disappeared because she wanted to see which of us would find her first.
And you won. Congratulations.
What else do you know about Jake Hurley? You know, the man who originally owned this train?
Wealthy, imaginative, adventurous, stubborn, egocentric, and most importantly, he was smitten at the age of 35 by a young French woman named Camille Voulet, who died about a year after they were married.
Where was he from?
East Coast, Philadelphia, I think. His parents were British aristocrats. Sometime in the 1870s, he decided to seek his fortune out west, so he had this train custom built so that he, and some years later his wife, could traverse the mountains and plains in relative comfort.
So he went west and became a miner?
All anyone knows for sure is that years after Camille's death, he showed up in Denver with a pouch full of gold nuggets and semi-precious stones, which he used to purchase mining supplies. He refused to say how he'd come by them, which of course led to speculation that he had found a fantastically rich vein somewhere, although to this day, its existence remains unsubstantiated and its location quite unknown.
The others on the train, John Gray and that police detective, Do you know them very well?
I don't know them at all. Needless to say, I don't watch television, so I've never even seen Mr. Gray before. Although I do know that his profession, if you can call it that, is rife with crackpots. As for Mr. Balducci, from what I've read, his success in solving those robberies was less a matter of talent and more a matter of being in the right place at precisely the right time.
In other words, you don't think he deserves all the attention he's getting?
No. You and those two Boy Scouts you're with would make better detectives. Is that all, dear?
How would I go about finding out the name of Jake's train engineer?
If you're smart, you'd ask me. And because my work is going surprisingly well, during my next break, I'll log on to my archives at home and see what I can turn up.
That'd be great, thank you.
Whoever invented the cellular modem, that's whom you should thank, dear.
Did you know that Lori wants to be a romance novelist?
Doesn't everyone?
Have you discussed any of her ideas with her?
No. Could we please talk about something a little more pleasant?
I'll let you get back to your writing.
My publisher thanks you.
Nancy, you missed it!
Missed what?
The argument of the century!
Joe, he's exaggerating.
Aw, come on, you heard them! They were ready to tear each other to shreds!
Who?
Charlena and Lori!
All we heard was the tail end of it, and unfortunately we really couldn't make out what they were saying.
So you don't know what they were arguing about?
No.
But whatever it was, both of them were absolutely out of their minds, livid.
And it would probably be a good idea to find out why.
Let me look into it. I'll talk to you later, okay?
You know where to find us.
Whoa! Somebody must have thrown the emergency brake.
The question is, did somebody throw the brake? Or something?
Oh, Joe, now you sound like Lori.
Hey, I was the first one on the scene, and I saw no one.
What did the engineer say?
He said the train could have derailed. He reset the brake, muttered a few choice words, then headed back to the engine just as you and Lori showed up.
Everybody was there except Charlena. I don't think she left her laptop the whole time.
Do you think she could have thrown the brake and snuck back to her laptop without your seeing her?
Not likely, but possible, I guess.
The question is, why? What did she or anybody else stand to gain by stopping the train?
Answer? Nothing. Which is why I think we should at least consider the possibility that something less human in nature may be at work here.
Ah, Joe.
I'm going to see if Balducci's done dusting for fingerprints. Catch you later.